recording.
I said, well, if I could solve that.
My name is Kiefer. I'm an attorney licensed here in Pennsylvania, and this press conference is about an action that we filed today in the Commonwealth Court of Pennsylvania. It is a complaint filed by Mr. Charles Kerchner, who is here with me this afternoon, and Dale Laudenslager, contesting the nomination petition of Barack Hussein Obama. Candidate Obama is deemed to be ineligible for the office he seeks, that of President of the United States, as he is not a natural-born citizen of the United States in accordance with Article 2 of the United States Constitution. We take this matter very seriously, and that's why we have come to Harrisburg today about this issue. I would like to introduce the lead plaintiff in this matter. His name is Charles Kerchner.
Good afternoon. My name is Commander Charles Kerchner, retired. I served my country for 33 years in the military, both active and reserve. As a commissioned officer, I took an oath to support and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. So help me God. And I took that oath solemnly as a promise to God that I would support the Constitution, no matter what the cost or what the price. I became aware that the President of the United States, who is now the candidate, I should say putative president, is not a natural-born citizen. His father was a foreign national. A foreign national who was never an immigrant to this country. Who was never a citizen of this country. To be a natural-born citizen of the United States as defined in Article 2 of the United States Constitution, you must be born in the country to two parents who are both citizens. It's based on natural law. You have to have two citizen parents to procreate a natural-born citizen, including then birth in the USA. Obama's father, again, being a foreign national, never an immigrant, simply sojourning here on a student visa and returning to his homeland in Kenya. We are a nation of immigrants. Obama's father was not one. He was not an immigrant, he's not a citizen. He cannot have a son who's a natural-born citizen or a daughter who's a natural-born citizen because he himself was never a citizen. A natural-born citizen is the children of the citizens. This information is found in the history, in founding documents, and in U.S. Supreme Court case law, including Minor versus Happersett, 1875. So I retained counsel to bring an action in Pennsylvania so that in the 2012 election, Obama is properly vetted by the electorate of Pennsylvania before he goes on the ballot. He's not going to be able to slip through the cracks. We were not aware of this back in the spring of 2008. We are now. He slipped through the cracks then. He's not going to slip through the cracks this time. We're going to take him to court, and we're going to prove in the court of law that to be a presidential candidate, you have to be a natural-born citizen. Obama is not one of his father's foreign national. And that kind of sums up my statement. At this point, if the co-plaintiffs would like to make a few words, if not, questions. Yes, sir. Do you want to state your name or not? Okay. Stand up and speak up.
Okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Did you say something about it? Do I believe he's a citizen or not a citizen?
I was just asking
because it's a natural-born citizen. He can be a citizen and be a congressman, a senator, or a governor, but to be the president, the commander-in-chief of the military.
Do you think that has been detrimental the 4 years serving our country?
The answer quickly is yes, and I'll tell you why. Because if we are right, and I believe we are right, he has abrogated Article 2, Section 1 of the U.S. Constitution. We're a nation of laws, not men. The fundamental law of this nation is the United States Constitution. If he can run for election again and abrogate it again, we don't have a constitution left. We are a giant salad bowl of immigrants from all over the world. What's the glue that holds us together? The Constitution. This country is based on the Constitution. If we don't enforce the Constitution, we have nothing. If we don't enforce Article 2, Section 1, what's next? The First Amendment? He's already violating freedom of religion with some of his actions. The Second Amendment? The rights of a free press? What's next? So we have to take a stand for the Constitution. If you've ever taken an oath to support and defend the Constitution, and you didn't just think those were just words, you have to stand up for that oath when the time comes. That old adage, many are called, but few answer. I answered the call of my oath. Did I answer you? Any more questions? Any more final words? Oh, did you want to say something? Yeah, one more statement, though, that the attorney pointed out. The reason for the natural-born citizen clause is national security, because he is the commander-in-chief of the military. John Jay, who became the first Supreme Court Justice of the United States, is the one who wrote the letter asking the President of the Constitutional Convention to put the natural-born citizen clause in place of Alexander Hamilton's suggested merely born citizen. A born citizen of the 14th Amendment citizen, simply being born here. He wanted natural-born as a strong check against foreign influence, because the President is the commander-in-chief of the military, and he said in his letter that he wanted it as a strong check to prevent any future president devolving upon a person who was born with foreign influence on them by their birth. They wanted a person with sole allegiance at birth to the United States and no other country. Unity of citizenship, sole allegiance. That means if you're born with a mother or father from a foreign country, you cannot be the president unless those people from the foreign country have naturalized first, sworn allegiance to this country. Then their children, when born, are natural-born citizens and born in the United States. It's a sole office in this country, and also by the 14th Amendment, the Vice President, where you must be a natural-born. Natural-born, again, is born in the USA to two citizen parents. I'll give you an analogy. It comes from natural law. It takes two tigers to make a tiger, two lions to make a lion. You have a citizen tiger A and a lion tiger citizen B. Do you get a natural tiger or a natural lion? No, you do not. It's the same with natural law and citizenship, and this goes back 10,000 years in our history. All of civilization, a natural-born citizen is a person born of two citizens of the city, of the state, or the country. That was codified in a book written in 1758 by the philosopher Emir de Vattel, who codified natural law. It's called Natural Law, Law of Nations, or Principles of Natural Law, and in Volume 1, Chapter 19, Section 212, he states, in writing, written in 1758, English version 1797, a natural-born citizen is a person born in the country of parents who are its citizens. The founders and framers used two books to justify the revolution. One, the Bible. Two, Vattel's Law of Nations or Principle of Natural Law. Any constitutional historian will tell you that. Vattel's Law of Nations is the most cited case in the first 100 years of legal history of the Supreme Court. It was the most cited legal treatise. It's only until the 1900s when the concept of a living Constitution evolved, that people wanted to get away from the idea that the Constitution is fundamental law, and you can say it means whatever you want it to mean. But when it was written, the founders and framers clearly knew what an actual born citizen was, because they used the legal treatise, the law of nations, or principles of natural law as the basis for the founding of this country, along with the Bible. Did I cover it? Yes.
Okay, so I'm an intern here, and I just had a question about, I know you specifically said that in the Constitution, it's specifically a definition would be that a natural born citizen has parents that
No, I didn't say it's in the Constitution.
Okay.
The words are in the Constitution. The
I'm
definition is
asking for
not.
clarification of where the definition is that states what exactly a natural born citizen is, where it says that in the Constitution, or where it's in the national law.
Right.
And then further upon that, I just want you to elaborate more on that first.
Sure. All right, the Constitution wasn't provided to us with a glossary. The word pirate is not defined in the Constitution, but the word pirate is in the Constitution. In the section of the Constitution where they define piracy, they cited a legal reference book to punish pirates under it. Guess what that book was? The Law of Nations. It's in the Constitution. So the definitions for the words in the Constitution are not there in the Constitution. You must look to other sources. You must look to the books and references that Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, and John Jay were reading. And I have historical documents that can prove to you that Benjamin Franklin was using the Law of Nations, Thomas Jefferson was, George Washington was, and John Jay were. And the definition for a natural-born citizen, which John Jay specifically wanted to put into the Constitution, is found in that book. I'll tell you again the name of the book. Law of Nations or Principles of Natural Law by Emir D. Vattel, Volume 1, Chapter 19, Section 212. Look it up on the dictionary, look it up on the internet, Google it, and read it. It's clear as a bell.
What year was that definition written?
Pardon?
What year was that definition written?
The first volume of Emir D. Vattel was written in 1758.
What year are we in now?
What year are we in now? Are you joking? You don't know what year it is?
2012.
Right, but did the Constitution get amended? The way to get rid of that clause in the Constitution is a legal process they provided to amend it, not to ignore 3 words in the Constitution. Just ignore them. That's why we're going to court, because it's being ignored, and it should not be.
I have a question. So, in this case, what you're trying to do in regards to the Constitution is the idea of interpretation of the Constitution. And in your interpretation of the Constitution, you're trying to say that it is proper for terms that state that you should take the Constitution as not being a living document. That's what you're trying to say here, or is it not? You're trying to say that we take it as its literal meaning, or are we trying to take it as a living, breathing document? Which one do you support?
Which one do you support?
I would say that I do.
Do you think the Constitution is a living, breathing document? Well, I don't think our founders would agree with that position at all. And they said what they said for a very good reason. And I think it was explained by the commander that there was a purpose. In fact, there was only one job for which they specified natural-born citizen, and that was the job of president. And they did that for the reasons that the commander explained, so that there is a unity of citizenship and there's no conflict of interest. And so that's...
I can add to that first.
Sure.
Not only did our founders say that, but our U.S. Supreme Court said it. And I can cite the actual law, if you'll give me a second here. Minor versus Happersett, 1875, a woman's suffrage lawsuit. In order for her to get standing in a court, they had to prove she was a citizen. To determine if she was a citizen, did she have the right to vote? All right, to get standing, she had to prove she was a citizen. They looked at her status, and this is what they said. They said she was not only a citizen, she's a natural-born citizen. Let me read what they said. The Constitution does not in words say who shall be a natural-born citizen. Resort must be had elsewhere to ascertain that. At common law, with the nomenclature of which the framers of the Constitution were familiar, it was never doubted that all children born in the country of parents who were its citizens became themselves upon their birth citizens also. These are the natives or natural-born citizens, as distinguished from aliens or foreigners. Supreme Court decision, never overturned. Ignored, but not overturned.
If you want the Constitution to breathe, there's a process. If you want the Constitution to breathe, there's a process. It's called amendment.
I just have a question. So you're just proposing that there be like an amendment or something that states specifically the definition of what a natural citizen is?
No.
Or you're just upon, like,
It's already been defined
If I may state what should be done politically, if you don't like it that it's a natural-born citizen, amend the Constitution saying the president only has to be a citizen. It's as simple as that. Have Congress introduce legislation to amend the Constitution. Don't just ignore 3 words in the Constitution. That is not the way our system works. We are a nation of laws. We are ruled by laws, not by men, charismatic or otherwise. If we don't have a nation of law, we're going to be like the third world banana republics. Do you want to live like that, where the rule of law doesn't mean anything, where the Constitution is not the fundamental law of this country, upon which all other laws are judged and based? That's what I'm fighting for, the rule of law. Slick politicians can give you the double talk. But I am standing here for the rule of law. And the Constitution is the fundamental law of this country. And if you guys don't get that, and I hope you do, and God forbid what our education system is turning out today, we have to understand that this Constitution is what holds this country together, the very glue and fabric of its nation. And if we want it to breathe, you amend it legally, not ignore it.
If you don't amend it legally, you're not a free nation, you're under a dictatorship.
Okay, all right. Oh, go right ahead.
Well, okay. Well, no, I was just asking about, I actually didn't vote for Obama currently, so it's my question was just here. But I just, my comment was that Obama was studying constitutional law, so I just think that he should know the Constitution.
Right, he should. He does know it. Do you honestly believe that politicians know the law but still break it? He had $1 billion to pull off the greatest political operation of my lifetime. And quite frankly, the major media was rooting for him 100%. And the issue of natural-born citizen was not even in front of the electorate during the primaries in 2008. Remember that it first became a controversy in early summer of 2008. Hillary Clinton was the first person to challenge him on this. But she lost the primary and it all went away. But in the summer of 2008 is the first time it surfaced. The primary in Pennsylvania was over. Everything was over. It's too late to protect the citizens of this state. We are now standing here to protect the citizens of this state. It doesn't matter what they do in every other state. We are a constitutional republic. Each state is sovereign. We control our own election laws in Pennsylvania. And no man, no president, no king, no God can trample on that. We are going to enforce the Constitution of the United States and the Pennsylvania Constitution in the Commonwealth courts. That's what we're going to try to do. If we don't win, I can look in the mirror and say, I tried to stand up and support the Constitution, so help me God. Thank you. I think that concludes our press conference today, and I appreciate everybody for coming. Thank you very much.